Hey there. I'll make this fast. It's another video from Codependence on this day, in this moment, daily meditation book series. It's Friday evening, April 4th, 4:54 p.m. I'm here to do another video. A little slow this evening. I'm tuckered. I've been running around since 10 o'clock this morning. Since I took my daughter to her appointment this morning. Not going to go into it. I'll write this down. Whoops. Sorry for that. See if I can cut that part out. Okay, so April, I just decided I was going to make a video. I'm currently waiting for my landlord to pick up his rent check, so hopefully I can get this done before he shows up. He said 5:30, so it's 5 to 5. Friday, 4:55 p.m. Okay, YouTube, I'm sorry for this. Like I said, it was the last minute decision. I said I was going to make a couple videos every day. And once again, I did the same thing. I just turned my camera on. Started recording. Codependence Anonymous. Video number 60, I believe. So in this moment, I'm not going to write everything. I live my own life. I live my own life. Okay. Whatever I get recorded is what I'm putting. Okay, so in this moment, I live my own life. This is video number 60 for February 29th. I live my own life. Lately, I'm not allowing myself to be pulled into other people's business. This is a good sign of my recovery. Meddling is a codependent trait that I'm trying to change. People ask me to solve their problems. Although I'm tempted, I choose to say no. It's enabling if I rescue them. Either they find the courage to do it themselves or they suffer the consequences. I have my own life to live. It's better for me to take care of my own business, and better for others too. That is so true. I was raised and conditioned to be codependent. It's taken me many years to see the truth about my behavior. For many years I had enabled people's behaviors. I was conditioned to do that. I was raised to believe that. To enable other people's behaviors. I started noticing signs a great many years ago, probably long before I met my hubby. There was an ex-boyfriend I had long before my hubby came along. Him too, he was an alcoholic. All he wanted me to do was bring him beer. I didn't have a car at the time. I didn't have my driver's license at the time. I had my learners, but not my full class 5 my license. I have my license now. But back then, way back in the early 90s, I was young and dumb, and yet 40 years later, I'm still young and dumb. Now I'm old and dumb. But anyway, this one ex-boyfriend, in fact, the boyfriend that I'm talking about, he actually knew my ex-husband. So I don't know how they were acquainted. But when I hooked up with my ex-husband, the one, my kids' dad, it turned out we had a run-in with the ex-boyfriend that I'm speaking of. I'm not going to give out names because I'm just not going to call anybody out. I don't want nobody to know, in case any haters find this video. I don't want nobody to know who I'm talking about. So anyway, this ex-boyfriend, not my hubby. When I'm referring to my hubby, I'm talking about my kids' dad. This ex-boyfriend that I had just broken up with him. So long ago, that was way back in the 90s, early 90s, mid 90s. I was trying to break up with him, and he was still trying to hang on to me, and things went back and forth. And he told me, he said, he got mad at me for something. I did something he didn't like, of course. And of course I was young and dumb, and I didn't see the signs of anything. And of course he asked me if I had money. I was at home with my mom. I was still living with my mother because I had gone back to her. I couldn't afford to live out on my own the first time I moved out. So this probably would have been... See, I met my hubby in June of 94, so it must have been, 92, yeah, the boyfriend I had before was 92, summer of 92, we were only together about 7 months, so the boyfriend I had in between there was probably by the next Christmas, New Year's, January 93, because I wasn't with them for very long. By things happened in between. By winter 93, 94, he wanted me. It was before I met my hubby, so it was. He wanted me. I had a mountain bike at the time, and I had one of those little. Carrying things, like it carried books and whatnot, a little like a little thing that you put on the back of your seat, little carrying I can't remember what it's called, but you could tie like books and flat things on it and whatnot. And so this ex-boyfriend, he wanted me to take him a case of beer. And I told him, I said, I didn't have any money. And he forced me to buy him a case of beer anyway. So that moment there, that's when I noticed that I was enabling his behavior, like his drinking behavior. And like I said, I saw signs. And after I brought him that case of beer, he got mad at me, of course. Like every other he was a narcissist. An alcoholic, and how do you say, exactly like my mother's husband. Not my dad, but my mother's second husband, the one that abused me. I knew there was something wrong when this guy literally begged me to buy him a case of beer. I had no choice but to buy him a case of beer. After I did that, I didn't bother with him after that. He got mad at me, and the relationship fizzled into nothing. And I believe from January 94 to roughly May of 94, I was just trying to work and wasn't trying to look for anybody. I wasn't looking for anything. And that's when my hubby come along. I wasn't alone for very long. And like I said, I just continued that enabling behavior when I met my husband. Him too, he was an alcoholic. He was an abuser. I'm not going to say much now because he's not here anymore to defend himself. But he drank for a great many years after we left, at least a good 10 years after we were together. And I didn't have how low my confidence was. I had no confidence to leave. I didn't think I'd be able to survive on my own. He always told me I was never going to make it without him. He always told me, he said, he was the best thing I ever found. And by the time our relationship ended 5-6 years ago, I knew I could do better. Whether it had to be by myself, I knew I could do better. And even though we're still just barely floating, things aren't any better. I'm not able to find a job, so that's why I created this YouTube channel. I'm not able to find a job. Like, out in the real world job. I'm talking about like a job working for somebody else. That's why I created this YouTube channel, is because I wanted to start working for myself. And I wanted my own business, and that's why I created this YouTube channel, is because working for somebody else out in the world, I've had too many jobs that were unreliable. They were unreliable sources of employment. That's what my problem was. And so it looks like I'm looking down. It's because I'm looking at the bottom of my screen. I'm not looking at my camera. My camera's at the top here. So if I want to look at the camera, I have to look at my little digits blinking at the top of my tablet. So if it seems like I'm looking down, it's because I'm actually looking down. So, but yeah, I was together 26 and a half years, well, give or take. He left when we were together 18 years, and he was back and forth for another 8.5, whatever. And somewhere in between there, I noticed the same behavior. He wanted money after we bought a whole bunch of groceries, our belongings. We used to deal with the pawn shops. He used to take things in and out of the pawn shops. You name it, we had it in and out of the pawn shop. Anything that could go in and out of the pawn shop, we had it in there. My Super NES console, that went in and out of there. I had 2 Super NES consoles going in and out of there. PlayStation, Game Boy, how do you say, the green Nintendo 64, the black Nintendo 64, stereos, car stereos. I even had a couple of cars going in and out of the pawn shop. We could not survive. And finally, we 18 years we dealt with the pawn shops. And finally, I finally had enough. The pawn shop that we were regularly dealing with, they were going out of business, and we had my husband's floor jack that was left in there. And the guy that owned the business, the pawn shop business, he told me, he said, you better get your hubby's jack out of here. He said, because in a week or so, he said, we're not going to be open, he said. So this was roughly 10 years or so ago, be roughly 2012, 2013, 14, he closed his shop down. And so I was forced to, the girls and I, we were by ourselves. We were forced to get everything out of the pawn shop because we wanted everything back. Stereos, my ghetto blaster. I had a really nice ghetto blaster. It looked like a big ghetto blaster, but it was a stereo. VCRs, DVDs, movies, goodness sakes, how many DVDs and movies, video, VCR tapes that we used to have, CDs, oh my goodness. We kept this guy in business, that's for damn sure. Us alone. And, anyway, by the time my husband left, it'll be in April 2012 he left. April, what's today? April 4th, today. On April 6th, on Sunday, it'll be 13 years that he had walked out on us. I have a couple stories for you. Anyway, since I'm sitting here talking, it took us, me and the girls, it took us several months, I think at least a good year, to get all our belongings out of the pawn shop. We went hungry. We did everything. Finally, I did not file my girls' child tax. My girls were relatively small. They were still in their teens, and they were still getting their child tax every month. And so I was using their child tax to get this stuff out of the pawn shops. And like, it was just stuff, but we were attached to it. We wanted it back. And yes, would you believe, I managed to get my hubby's jack back. And after I paid for it to get it back, he wanted it back. And I told him no, I kept it. Whether he liked it or not, I didn't give a shit. So anyway, after we so nicely had everything all out, our money was slowly leveling out. We were finally able to do more with it. We were finally able to buy more food and more clothes and whatnot with it. And we finally had a really bad time. Like I said, I filed the girls' child tax late. And talking about my taxes, I was supposed to file my taxes in April or in March, April, when the due dates is due. And I, procrastinate, didn't want to. I didn't file our taxes until August of 2012, 2012, I guess it was. 2013, whatever year it was. And in return of the 4, 5, or 6 months money that we didn't get, I finally got a big check for the girls. It was a little over $5,000, because they had back pay and everything from the last time we ever got anything. I put that money in the bank. I wished I would have stashed it away. I wished I would have known how. I would have stashed it away. Tried saving up for a house. I couldn't do that either. And at the same time, I was trying to go to school, so I had to pay for parking. The school that we were going to, forced to park, because there was because where the school is located, I had no place to park. So I was paying 4 months of parking, $2 a day for 20 days. If you add that up, how much money is that a month? Sometimes even it was $2 a day for parking. So sometimes we'd take off and come back, so we'd have to pay another $2. And then half of that money, half of that $5,000, I'd say at least a good $2,500 out of that money went to just parking, trying to park at the school there. And the other half went to food, clothes, games, movies, whatever. I wanted to save it. And as soon as my hubby knew that we got our child tax back, he wanted a part of it. He did not deserve a part of it. And no, I did not give him any of that money. No, I kept that money for myself and the girls. I shared that money with the girls. But like I said, since my hubby left, let's say 13 years, because it'll be 13 years in a couple days, since he left 13 years ago, I had enabled a lot of people's behavior. I had taken on a lot of people's abuse, let's just say abuse, and enabled a lot of people's behavior. I helped a lot of people do what they wanted to do. But this video is getting long, too, so like I said, it's all about how do you say, living life on your own terms. Now that my hubby's permanently gone, he passed away in 2021, October 2021. I mentioned that before. And I try not to enable other people's behavior. Even my girls, they don't want to do anything. They want me to enable their behaviors. I can't think of too many of their behaviors, but they want me to do things for them that they don't want to do themselves. Like this morning, when I woke up, I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. It's 5:12. I'm looking at my computer, so I don't have it turned on. I just have the main screen on. It's 5:12 p.m. I've been running for the last 13 hours. That's why I look so tired this afternoon, is because I've been running around. I went to the bank with my daughter. Her daughter was her appointment was at the bank this morning, and if I didn't get her awake, she didn't want to wake. I literally had to shake her up. She went to sleep this morning at 9 o'clock while I was up. I had a shower at 9:30, whatever time it was. While I was in the shower, she was sleeping. 10:15, she didn't want to get up. 10:30, she was still struggling to get up. And now that it's almost 6 o'clock, after we got home, she's sleeping. And I literally had to take her to that appointment. She didn't want to go on her own. She had no reason not to go on her own. I knew what I was doing. I let her answer as many of the questions that she knew. She knew her sister's birthday. She knew her own birthday. She provided the guy her identification. And the guy asked, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like I said, I've been running all day." The guy asked. He said, "What did she want to use this bank account for?" And she said, she didn't even know. And I told her, I said, "Just savings." And so she didn't even know some of the questions that he was going to ask. She didn't know how to answer them, and she didn't want me to go to that meeting with her. It turned out after I stood in that office, I was on the phone. Excuse my scratching of my boobie. It's itchy. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was on the phone with I think I called Salvation Army. I was after a book. Bought some more books again today. Video's getting long, so I'll share it in my next video. Probably bought maybe another 6 or 7 books today. Couple of Michener books, couple of one Stephen King book. I can't remember what the other one is. I can't remember. But anyway, like I said, I can catch my behavior. I see it now when people make me do things that I don't want to do. I catch my I'm sorry. I catch my behavior, and I try really hard not to enable people. But now that my hubby's no longer here, I do miss him sometimes. I do miss him on occasion, and now that I no longer speak to my mom anymore, she no longer has control of my behavior. Excuse me, I'm going to check see how much power my tablet has. Has 86%. And she's a controlling figure in my life. She tries to control my life. She also tried to do that with my sister's lives, so I'm not no different than my sisters. She's a very controlling woman. In fact, I have other videos that I have on my YouTube channel that I have not released yet. How do you say? I was going to release these before, but I had to think of how do you say, I released a little bit, how do you say, way back when, I think back in January or December, I released a video called Top 10 Reasons Why I'm Never Speaking to My Mother Again. I'm actually trying to make, I released, I think, 3 or 4 videos already. I just haven't, I put them on my YouTube channel, but I haven't released them yet. I haven't released them to the public yet. Top 10 reasons, how do you say, individual videos of my top 10 reasons why I'm never speaking to my mother again. I've actually had to come up with a few more reasons. It's taken me this long to think of why I didn't want to speak to her again. Another reason why I never want to speak to my mother again is because she's a negative thinker. She can never, how do you say, she could never see the positive side of things. There's always a positive side and a negative side of a decision or a crisis or a thing that's happening in your life. And when things are like going wrong or haywire or not as planned, like say if you make a plan and your plan falls apart, and you're trying to figure out what, like the good part or the bad part. My mother will always look at the bad part, the negative part of things, and I can't deal with that. I always try and look at this positive side of things. Currently, my YouTube channel's not doing that great, but I'm still here. I'm still trying to put videos on my channel, whether they're audiobooks or whether they're my little red books, my book videos. I'm still here. I have not given up yet. But that's another reason why I'm not giving. That's why I don't want to speak to my mother again. Is because she's a negative thinker. I even had a couple of papers. I don't know where they went. Oh, right here. Just wait. I know it's a change of subject. My daughter wrote it down. She favorites her grandkids. Negative. My daughter knows how to spell aspects. My mother always looks at the negative aspects of life. That's another reason why I didn't want to ever speak to my mother again. Is because she's a negative thinker. But I try and stay on the positive side of things. Like I said, my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is still a baby yet, and like all babies, like all businesses, it takes time to grow. Oh, I'm so sorry for yawning. So I'm gonna stick it out. If Mr. Beast can do it, I'm gonna try and stay around, try and stick to it. I've always wanted a faceless channel. So whether this turns into a faceless channel, it turns into whatever it turns into. I feel my channel always evolving, so I always try and read books, because books are always something that I do. I love to read, so the whole 20, 30 years, 25, 26, what did I say, 26 and a half years I was with my ex-husband. The husband, he never liked me reading, so I have so many reading materials here, and now I'm getting off topic, that I'll probably have reading materials probably till the end of the year. But like I said, back to the subject. Living life on my own terms, enabling people's behavior, and what did my book say? Living life on my own terms. I went to the wrong video. Oh, people ask me to solve their problems, although I'm tempted, I choose to say no. Like I said, my daughter had to go open up a bank account this morning. She didn't want to go to the bank, but I was trying to help her save for her future. And I literally had to hold her hand because she didn't want to do it. But I saw that I was enabling her behavior because I had to stand there and hold her hand while she did it. actually had to be in the room before she actually decided to show up. Anyway, I do recognize my own behavior, and I do live my life on my own terms. That is the reason why I created this channel, is because I want my channel to grow. I want my channel to gain the subscribers and the views that it deserves. I want it to become monetized. I want to get better at creating better videos. I know my morning's video this morning was, I wasn't awake yet. So, but like I said, I want to continue to make better videos. I know my audiobook videos could be better. I know I have a lot of how do you say, words I don't always pronounce perfectly. But like I said, I want to stay here, and I want to get monetized. That's my main goals. Also, that silver plaque that you get when you hit 100,000 subscribers. Right, I'm not even near that at all. But what I really would like to do is I'm shooting for 100 subscribers. If you can help me with that. I have bigger goals in mind. I hope to stick around. I hope that whatever videos I make, if you're watching this video, I hope that it brings you some, I hope it helps you in return. These videos help me as they keep me, how do you say, they keep me honest. How do you say, authentic. They keep me authentic, because I can't lie. If I start lying, then eventually something will turn around. It'll end up turning up, come bite me in the ass later. So anyway, like I said, I want to stick around for a while. But anyway, I'm gonna let you go. My landlord will be here any minute now. He said 5:30. I don't want him to show up while I'm on video. And this video is at least 15-20 minutes longer than I wanted it to be. I'm sorry if I'm rambling. I'm just I just when I don't know what else to say, I just start rambling. I do hope you get things. I hope you find some help, or some, if you get, I hope you get some help, from some sort of help out of my videos. I hope you find some sort of entertainment or education from my videos. That's what my videos are for. I'm not a, how do you say, a licensed, I'm not a licensed therapist, nothing like that. I don't have any credentials. You don't see any certificates on my back wall. There's nothing there. Nothing there to look at. If I had a certificate, I would hang it up, but I don't have any certification. It's all pure experience. I'm just sharing my experiences. But anyway, this video is getting way too long. So whatever you're going through, keep going. Nothing in this world that is worth how do you say, not worth hanging on to. No man is worth hanging on to. If he's abusing you, make up your mind to leave. Make up your mind to make a change. Change does not happen unless you decide to change. Things do not change unless things change. However that saying goes. Alright, so look after yourself. Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. Because nobody else is going to do it. I've got to wait for this landlord and hopefully be able to go have a sleep and maybe make another couple of book videos. Oh, I'm so sorry you're watching me on. I'm sorry. But anyway, I'll cut this off before he shows up at the door. Those top 10 videos I'll have out as soon as I can. As soon as I figure out how I'm going to post them, like I said, I have about 4 or 5 of them made already. I could probably make them up and probably make them up as I go. But anyway, I want to make like individual little shorts. Hopefully I can throw them onto my shorts list. So anyway, have yourselves a good night. Have a good Friday. Happy Friday to you. It's 5:29 right now. And I'll see you in the next video. I'm not sure. Maybe tomorrow morning. So I'll try and make another one tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. I bought some stuff to make homemade coffee milk, so maybe I'll try and go do that. Maybe I'll try and make a video on my coffee milk. But my space on my tablet's filling up, so I'm gonna have to run away. Have a good night, and I'll see you in the next video. See you later. Bye.